Hi, welcome to SkyLynn Mind, Body, and Health. Today's topic will be patellar tendonitis, or if you go see your doctor and you're complaining of knee pain, they may give you a sheet that says patellofemoral pain, which is a big term for probably patellar tendonitis and basic knee pain. So what causes patellar tendonitis? A lot of times we have an imbalance in our muscles. We have big muscles in the back called the hamstrings and big muscles in the front called the quadriceps. A lot of times there's an imbalance. One is stronger, more contracted, or maybe a little weaker, and the other one is more stretched out, which creates a lot of tension in some areas that shouldn't be. So we have to balance these out. So the quadriceps muscle, if you break it down, quadriceps, quad means four big muscles. Let's see if we can point them out. These big four muscles start up on the hip. One, the rectus femoris, starts on the hip, and the other three start on the thigh bone, and all four of them together come down, and they wrap around our kneecap right in here, and they connect right down here on the tibial tuberosity. So these big four muscles, this one right here is the vastus medialis, which a lot of times is weak and can cause knee pain. This next big one is the vastus lateralis. This one right here in the middle is the rectus femoris, and underneath the rectus femoris is the vastus intermedius. So these all big four muscles are all working on this one point down here where it inserts. And this is where we get the knee pain because something is not tracking properly. The patella maybe it sits in a groove, and this muscle may be weak, so the patella offsets and it tracks over here, or something may be going on that it requires strengthening of all these muscles and stretching on the backside. So what do we do to fix that? There's a couple of techniques and exercises we can do for at-home therapy. So one, very, very basic. Using my right leg, quad sets. First exercise to help alleviate this pain. As you can see, I'm sitting straight, my leg is fully extended, and all I'm going to do is dorsiflex my foot, or flex my foot towards me, and by doing so, I'm going to engage these quad muscles. I'm going to hold these quad muscles for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds or so, I'm going to release. I'm going to do it again. So what I'll usually do is you can do 30 reps or set a timer. Timer's probably the easiest thing you can do, so you don't have to worry about counting while you're counting how long you're holding this set for. So set a timer for 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Contract, hold for 5 seconds, and release. One more time, I'm going to contract, hold for 5 seconds, make sure my foot's dorsiflexed, my entire quad is engaged. This is a full contraction, and release. That's one exercise you can do. Anyone can do this at home if you're on the floor or on the couch, in bed, watching TV. This is going to be key right here. Contracting these muscles and helping that patella, that kneecap, track properly in that groove. Next you can do is make a bolster. Easy thing you can do is grab 2 towels, roll them up, put them underneath the knee. In this case, I actually have a foam roller. So, same concept. Dorsiflex my foot, flex the foot towards me. This is called a short arc quad. Contract these muscles, 5 seconds, and release. Same thing. So I will also continue to do this for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and release. Now remember guys, this is a full contraction that I'm doing. I'm engaging all these muscles right in this thigh. And release. Alright, the next exercise that you can do at home. These are called long arc quad sets. And that's because I'm covering more degrees of range of motion. So same thing, flex. All these muscles, full contraction, dorsiflex the foot, 5 seconds, release. Do it again. Set your timer for 2 or 3 minutes. Keep on going. Do this at the house. You can do this while you're sitting at your desk. And you're going to help strengthen these muscles. Alright, so that's all relatively pretty easy. You can do that at home, you can do that at work. I mean, there's really no reason why you couldn't do these and help alleviate some of that patellar pain. Now, as you get stronger, you want to add some more exercise to this. So, what you can do next is they're called mini squats. If you do happen to have a lot of knee pain, there's some swelling in there and some fluid, these might be a little bit painful, so on your squats, only go as low as you can and what you can tolerate. So usually you may start off at a mini squat. You may just come down 15, 30 degrees and back up. Key here, make sure you're about shoulder hip width apart. All your weight stays on the back of your heels. Butt goes back like there's a chair behind you. You can bring your arms out and use them for balance. And then as you get better and you start getting more full range of motion, let's do 90-90 squats. If you notice, as I squat down, my toes can come up off the ground because I know all my weight is on my heels. A common mistake that is done, especially that I see with my athletes, is they put a lot of tension by coming up on their toes, and that's how they initially may injure themselves. If they're in the weight room doing squats and they look like this, let's get a side view here. If they look like this, look at all that tension you're placing on that patellar tendon right in there. And we don't want that. We want good, proper technique, which is all the weight comes on the heels. It's on the backside. So if you have a bar, you're imagining the seat right behind you, getting your butt in that seat, all your weight's in your heels. Back up. Last thing we can do, because we know usually this VMO muscle's weak, which causes knee pain, or your hips may be a little weak, which can also cause knee pain. We want to strengthen that. This piece of tape, toes lined up with the tape, my knee should be over this tape. To do a heel touch, I'm going to try to keep my hips nice and even, come down like if there's a chair behind me, drop my heel down. I'm going to try to make sure my knee tracks over my big toe and my middle toe. If you're weak, you may deviate off that line, which is incorrect. If you're weak in your glutes, you may drop that hip, which is also incorrect and poor mechanics. This is what we need to correct to make sure that doesn't happen. The better form you have, the better technique you have, the less knee pain you'll have. So why is this important for us? If you do manual labor and you're at work, and say you have to do a lot of squats, lift a lot of heavy boxes. Of course, we've heard the phrase, use your back, not your legs. That's important because if you pick up a box, you want to squat, make sure all your weight's in your heels, grab that box that you need, lift right up, no big deal. The moment you do incorrect form, lift that box up, come up funky, you're pulling something. And that can contribute to back pain, hip pain, knee pain, you name it. But for this instance, patellar femoral pain, good form, strengthen the muscles. All right, we strengthen these front muscles. Let's stretch the backside, because usually when these are weak, these overcompensate. We have a pulling of tensions that's unbalanced. We usually want to stretch these out. Hamstring stretches. Well, we have some nice big muscles in the back as well. So to stretch all those muscles, hamstring stretch. Laying down, pulling my toes towards me. Dorsiflex that foot if you can. And gently stretch this hamstring complex all back in here. Hold the stretch for about 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, release, relax, do it again. I recommend doing 3 reps of 30 seconds. If it feels really tight, then hold it for 60 seconds and repeat that stretch for 3 times. To further isolate which hamstring we're going to stretch, we're now going to stretch this biceps femoris muscle, which inserts from here and originates from up here, so we're going to stretch this outside. I'm going to slightly bring it over my midline, use my hand for support, and stretch these outside muscles. Same thing, hold for 30 seconds, up to a minute. Release that stretch, and do it again, up to three times or 3 reps. So we're stretching the hamstring complex, we're stretching the biceps femoris specifically, and then now we're going to go into our gastroc soleus stretches. Same thing, guys. I usually told my kids get into a wide lunge. Try to keep that heel down. It's almost like a yoga pose, warrior 1. Heel stays down. I'm going to lean forward, stretch the calf. Because we have 2 muscles in the calf, 2 big muscles, your gastrocnemius and your soleus. I'm going to do one with my leg bent. And I'm going to do some with my knee. I'm going to do one with my legs straight. And then I will do one with my knee bent. And that will get the soleus stretches. Flexibility stretches, usually almost all of them are going to be about 30 seconds up to a minute stretch, repeated for 3 times. All right, quick recap. We're strengthening quad muscles. We're stretching the hamstrings. And we're also focusing on some balance components with those heel touches and making sure that we're engaging our nervous system as well, that it stays fine-tuned and locked in with what we're doing. Hope that helps, guys. After any exercise, I tell my athletes, grab a bag of ice. Ice at 15-20 minutes. If you're a basketball athlete, track athlete, football athlete, just a person that goes to run on the weekend, grab a bag of ice it for 15-20 minutes, and that will usually help with the pain and inflammation. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Again, like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you next time.